Even small news stories and articles had been saved carefully. Oh, Jinhyo was surprised and couldn't speak. Then a newspaper clipping that wasn't fully cut out fell to the floor. Jinhyo quickly picked it up, tears in his eyes. The article showed a picture of Jinhyo smiling for the cameras after the big monster fell. Jinwoo hadn't wanted his picture taken, so Jinhyo had been photographed instead. The article was from today's newspaper. Secretary Kim put his hand on Jinhyo's shoulder. Jinhyo felt very sad. Chairman Yu cared about him a lot, but he also expected a great deal from him. Jinhyo cried for a long time. When he felt a little better, he stood up. Is there any way to wake him up? Secretary Kim sadly shook his head. No patient had ever woken up after reaching the final rest stage, except for one person. As soon as Secretary Kim remembered who it was, he was unsure if he should say anything. Could it be Jinhyo? Yes. Never mind. It's nothing. It's okay. He didn't ask the question. Sometimes it's worse to give someone hope. So Secretary Kim kept the question he really wanted to ask the sad hunter to himself. While they were talking, Jinhyo quietly listened nearby. Let's go home now. Okay. Jinhyo and Secretary Kim left Chairman Yu's hospital room. Both Jinhyo and the other person didn't see a small part of the shadow near Jinhyo's feet move back into the room just as the door shut with a click. The lights went off by themselves. Later that night, when everyone was asleep and no one was visiting, a shadow slowly came out from under Chairman Yu's bed. It quickly changed shape and became a shadow soldier that looked like an ant. His eyes brightened when he saw Chairman Yu. He made a clicking sound. As the ant soldier licked its mouth, it quickly disappeared into the darkness, and Jinwoo took its place, using his shadow exchange ability. Even though he had already used stealth to hide, he carefully looked around to make sure it was safe. The room was very dark, but because Jinwoo was very aware of his surroundings, he could see everything like it was daytime. His eyes shone as he looked for a security camera. He didn't see any. The only other people nearby were 4 guards standing outside the door. Jinwoo thought he was safe as long as Chairman Yo didn't suddenly notice him. He stopped being invisible. Slowly his body became visible again. Jinwoo was being very careful not to let anyone discover the special potion he had. Recently Chairman Yo had offered Jinwoo anything he wanted, even a lot of money if Jinwoo would just tell him what he had. Was this a kind thing to do? Not really. Successful business leaders are good at figuring out how to make money, and Chairman Yu was the best in Korea. He was a talented businessman who started with a small company his parents owned, and built it into one of the biggest companies in the world. He understood how valuable a cure for his sickness was, and had given Jinwoo a really good deal, but not everyone was as reasonable as Chairman Yu, and because people sometimes do silly things when they are very worried, there wasn't any need to create more problems in the world. Jinwoo wanted to keep the elixir of life a secret because he knew it was very important. He didn't want to risk anything bad happening, just to help a friend's family member. Not many people would share something so valuable if someone simply asked for it. So Jinwoo decided to wait for the right moment before revealing anything. The wait hadn't made Chairman Yu any worse, and it wouldn't change how well the treatment would work. Really, the only people who would lose out were the owners of Yujin Construction, who sold their shares as soon as they heard Chairman Yu was in the hospital. Is that why people say the stock market is so risky? Jinwoo smiled and took one of 5 bottles of the elixir of life from his bag. He understood what it felt like to lose a parent, so helping Jinhyo with this seemed like the right thing to do. The man was really upset and crying. Jinwoo gently lifted up the chairman and carefully poured a special medicine into his mouth. Drop by drop. The chairman swallowed the medicine even though he was unconscious, as if he knew it could save him. He coughed. Jinwoo laid the chairman back down and put the empty bottle away. Just like with Jinwoo's mother, the chairman's face regained its color, and his heartbeat became stronger. Jinwoo was pleased. It worked. The special medicine had done its job. The only thing left to do was leave the room before Chairman Yu woke up. Jinwoo stood by the door and activated his stealth ability. A soft whirring sound came from it. The sound of the door, which was designed to open with a button, surprised the guards. They saw something much more surprising than just the door opening by itself. The guards were surprised to see Chairman Yo sitting up.
Mr. Yo!
One very surprised guard shouted loudly, "Doctor! Doctor!" He quickly ran to find a doctor, and his 3 partners hurried into the room. "Chairman Yo, are you alright?" The chairman looked calm and rested, like he had slept well. He looked at them confused. "What is going on?" Who are you people? We are no. Wait. Chairman Yu stopped them as he looked around. He recognized the special hospital room for patients needing long rest that he had arranged when he first learned about his illness. That means this isn't possible. Did I fall asleep and wake up? A strange noise sounded. The chairman looked and saw the door across the glass wall slowly closing. Then a chime rang. The elevator door slid open. Jinwoo noticed a group of doctors hurrying to Mr. Yu's room just before he entered the elevator. He realized Jinho's birthday was coming up soon. It was a little early to say it, but he hoped Jinho had a happy birthday. Finding a way to help Jinho's father would be the best present he could imagine. Jinwoo pressed the button for the first floor. A man who entered the elevator after him was surprised when the button lit up by itself. That's strange. Because Jinwoo was using stealth, it seemed to the man like he was alone in the elevator. The man rushed outside, looking worried and saying something under his breath. Jinwoo felt bad for upsetting him and quickly pressed the button to close the elevator doors. As the elevator started moving, he decided to look at one of his abilities. Ability Information, Ability Shadow Switch, Level 2. This ability is special to his job. It doesn't need any energy to use. He can switch places with one of his shadow soldiers. After using it, he has to wait 3 hours before he can use it again. The amount of time you have to wait depends on how skilled you are. You can use the ability again after 1 hour 54 minutes and 11 seconds. Ignoring those 11 seconds, he had 2 hours before he could use Shadow Exchange again. He still wanted to get shadows from a few more giants, so he needed to go back to Japan. He had already been on a mission in another country, so he would be able to do it again when the waiting period ended. The hard part was deciding what to do until then. He couldn't go home. How would his mom react if Jinwoo came back from a trip to Japan and then left again just 2 hours later? He could almost imagine what she would look like. Ding! The elevator doors opened on the ground floor. Jinwoo thought about what to do after he left the hospital. Then he had an idea. Should he search for a dungeon no one else had found yet? He turned off his ability to hide, and tried to sense his surroundings more clearly. He noticed 4 or 5 gates nearby. He checked information about them on the group's phone app. Great. He was happy to see that 2 of the gates hadn't been reported yet. Miss Yo, we are here. Thank you. Jin-hee, the oldest daughter of Chairman Yo, had come back to the hospital after taking her sad mother home. When she first learned about her father being sick, she felt like everything was falling apart. But she trusted what her father told her. I am working hard to find a cure, and I think I have a good idea, so don't worry. If anyone else said they could help with her father's serious illness, she wouldn't have believed them at all. But Chairman Myung-kan Yu was a very important leader in Korea's financial world, so Jin-hee still hoped things would get better, even though the situation looked bad. Still, she wiped away her tears as she remembered how her father had tried to hide his sadness when she moved to a different country. If she had known things would end up like this, she would have stayed home and spent more time with him.
Just then, someone she recognized walked by.
Wait, wasn't that? She was sure she had seen him before, but before she could remember where, he pulled his hood up and walked faster, like he felt her looking at him. She watched him walk away, then quickly continued on her way. Whoever he was, the man's identity didn't matter. As she waited for the elevator doors to open, her cell phone rang. Buzzing. At this late hour in the empty hospital lobby. The sound seemed very loud. Jin-hee didn't recognize the phone number. She usually didn't answer calls from unknown numbers, but she wondered who it could be. After a very busy 24 hours, she thought she should check. She held the phone to her ear and said, "Hello?" A voice replied, "Hello, this is Solishan Hospital. We are calling, because we couldn't reach your mother. They had given her mother medicine to help her sleep, so that made sense." But what was happening? The surprising phone call from her father's doctor worried Jin-hee. She carefully asked, "Did something happen?" "The problem is, Mr. Yu," as she listened, her eyes grew very big. It couldn't be true. Did the doctor really expect her to believe this? She blinked back tears and asked, "Are you certain?" "If I hadn't seen it myself, I wouldn't have thought it possible either. It's very unusual for patients who are very ill to wake up. Please come as quickly as you can. We don't know when Chairman Yu will fall asleep again. Please wait. I'm already at the hospital." The elevator doors opened perfectly, and Jin-hee rushed through them. She never imagined this would happen. Is this really happening? The short elevator ride felt like a very long time. The doors opened again, and she hurried straight to her father's room. She saw the old man turn around to see who it was. It was definitely him from his head to his toes. Dad! Surrounded by doctors, Myung-han, Yu looked at his daughter. Jinhee! Dad! She jumped into her father's arms. As he held her close, Myung-han realized again that he had come back to life. I am alive. But was this just a lucky chance? The doctors were talking about this amazing thing that had happened, and Myung-han's daughter was crying with happiness. Myung-han paid attention to his own heartbeat. How could this be possible? Boom, boom. He was older than 50, but his heartbeat was strong and regular, like someone much younger. His doctor looked confused while checking his medical charts. I don't understand any of this. Myung-han asked carefully. Is this a problem? No, not at all. Not at all, the doctor said with a comforting tone. Then he asked, Sir, did you happen to take your medicine for high blood pressure before these tests, until yesterday? Myung-han had been very close to dying. He was in a serious condition between life and death. He woke up and forgot to take his medicine. No, I didn't, he said. He shook his head. The doctor nodded, like he knew this would happen, but he looked worried. But your blood pressure is good right now. The doctor said you actually seem to be in very good health. According to these results. Chairman Yu was surprised. What was he talking about? He thought he would be very sick once he reached this point. But instead, his high blood pressure was gone. The doctor kept looking closely at the papers. Also, all of your body parts are working well. If I didn't tell you his age, people would think these checkups belong to a young adult. How could this be happening? The doctor was very surprised, even more surprised than Myung-han was. Even though he was looking right at the proof, the test results from when Chairman Yu first came to the hospital were still new, but these new results showed very different numbers. How could this be happening? Had Chairman Yu's body changed a lot recently? He had been very sick with a disease that couldn't be cured, but just last night he seemed to be getting worse. Then he explained what he thought. I've been a doctor for 30 years, and I've never seen anything like this before. This is like a wonderful surprise. A person who had been very sick with a disease that made them sleep forever, had woken up feeling better than ever before. What else could it be except something amazing? He was very happy to share the good news. Congratulations, sir. The sickness that made you sleep all the time is now gone. You could run a really long race right now if you wanted to. But Myung-han didn't feel happy yet. He thought carefully before asking, are there any cameras in my hospital room? Excuse me? Why are you asking? I need to check something. Is there a camera in this room or in the hallway? There isn't a camera in here, but there should be one outside. That was good. Chairman Yu nodded his head. I don't think this is just luck. This is more than something that happened by chance. Someone with incredible power helped here, and Myung-han thought he knew who it was. I really owe that person a lot. Chairman Yu had never been in debt to anyone, and he didn't plan to start now. But how do you thank someone for saving your life? He wanted to know who had helped him before anything else. Please show me the video from last night. Of course the camera didn't record anything useful. The only strange thing was the door not working right here. One of the guards showed it on the screen. The windows were closed and locked from the inside, so the only way to get into the hospital room was through the door. All 4 guards said the same thing about what happened. They were trained security guards and always took their jobs seriously. Not even a bug could have gotten into Chairman Yu's room. The idea that Jinwoo might have a skill to hide didn't occur to Chairman Yu, so he was very confused. Secretary Kim hurried into the room where they watched the screens. Sir, I checked what you asked me to. And, well, Secretary Kim looked at the other people in the room and quietly told Chairman Yu something in his ear. The group confirmed Hunter Sung was in Japan then. They said he would probably come back to Korea tomorrow. Chairman Yu thought only Jinwoo could have done this. But he realized he was wrong. It couldn't have been Hunter Sung. But then why? Even though the proof said otherwise, he still had a strange feeling that it had been Jinwoo. But Chairman Yu and Jinwoo were alike in one way. They didn't worry about things they couldn't change. I understand. He changed the topic. The doctor said I am healthy enough to run a long race if I choose, so I will return to work tomorrow. Please make sure everything is prepared. Okay. The chairman sounded like himself again. Secretary Kim quietly smiled, then mentioned something else she needed to discuss. Also Chairman Yu, have you heard what people are saying about you? The news reporters were probably having a lot of fun with the story about the man who came back to life. The chairman didn't seem worried. What is it? They are saying, you can't die. Can't die. Chairman Yu didn't often smile, but he couldn't help but grin a little. Can't die. That was much better than when they called him King Midas or Poker Face. Ha. Chairman Yu repeated the word. Immortal. Immortal. Huh? It was a great way to describe someone who never gave up, even when very sick. Chairman Yu was happy to have another chance and laughed. I like that very much. While everyone in Korea was talking about Chairman Yu, Jinwoo returned to Japan and gathered all 29 of the giant shadow soldiers. Finally he felt very emotional as the giant shadow soldiers stood in a line in front of him, in the order he had collected them. Finding the remains of the giants and gathering their shadows felt like a challenge in a video game, but the real reward was much better. He felt incredibly strong with 29 giant shadow soldiers helping him. It was too bad one was still missing. A total of 30 giant magical creatures had gotten away when the gate opened, not counting the one that stayed behind to protect it, and one more had run into the ocean. He still felt very proud that he had collected the other 29 giants, with all the giants gathered in the ruined city. It almost felt crowded, but he hadn't brought them there just to stand around. He asked them a question. Who is the strongest of you? He needed someone to lead the giants, just like Baru, Igris, and Fang led their own groups of soldiers. When the large soldiers looked at each other with worry and no one stepped forward, Baru became impatient and shouted loudly. Scrata! The giants jumped in fear, as the strong roar echoed through the air. Baru had defeated many of them, and was clearly stronger than all the giants, so they were afraid of him. Scrata! After Baru scolded them, one of the giants slowly raised his hand. Baru looked at Jinwoo and bowed her head. Jinwoo received a thumbs up to show he had done well. Thank you. Then something surprising happened. Another giant raised his hand after seeing the first one do the same. His face showed he thought he was better than the other giant. Jinwoo understood that the giants had been waiting because they didn't know which one was the strongest. This unexpected change made Jinwoo chuckle as he asked both large creatures to come closer. Number 22 and number 6. Please step forward. Number 6 had particularly big hands, and number 22 looked very strong. Jinwoo studied them carefully. Even with his good ability to notice things, it was difficult to tell which one was more powerful. There was only one way to find out. Jinwoo smiled widely. Are you two ready? The two large fighters faced each other, strong and determined. Begin. Wham! Pow! Crash! The fighters hit each other for a while until fighter number 6 finally knocked fighter number 22 to the ground, and won by a small amount. Good. From now on number 6 is the leader of the fighters. Number 6 raised its fists in victory, and the other dark soldiers cheered. Now that was settled, Jinwoo had done everything he wanted to do in Japan. He looked at his stats. A window with words and numbers appeared before him. Name Jinwoo Sung level 1222 job Shadow Monarch title Demon Hunter, and 2 others HP 65, 230 MP 1115, 60 fatigue 0 stats, strength, 2092 stamina, 2081 agility 35, intelligence 3010 perception 27 available ability points, 0 physical damage reduced by 65% skills, passive skill unknown LV, max, willpower LV, 1, dagger master LV, max active skill flash LV, max, murderous intent LV, 2 mutilation LV, max, dagger barrage LV, max, stealth LV, 2, ruler's authority LV, max, job exclusive skills active skill, shadow extraction LV, 2, shadow exchange LV, 2 item equipped Crimson Knight's helmets, Demon Monarch's earrings, Su, Demon Monarch's necklace S, Demon Monarch's rings, Seeker's shirt A, Seeker's gloves, Seeker's pants A, Seeker's shoes A. He thought about how much he had improved since coming to Japan, starting with how much stronger his stats had become. All of his skills were getting very high, close to 300 points each. His intelligence, which he worked on the most, was already over 300. This happened because he always completed the daily tasks, gained levels by fighting big monsters, and bought really good protective equipment from the system's store. It was called the Seeker's Defense Gear Set. For a long time Jinwoo hadn't really looked at what the system shop had to offer. He didn't know how powerful these monarchs and rulers were, so he had to find a way to stay safe. If the King of Giants was so strong even when he was weak, the others could be incredibly powerful. Jinwoo remembered the angels with 6 wings he had seen in the memories of the Shadow Monarch. If he wanted to win a fight with them, Jinwoo needed to become even stronger. He looked up from the list of items to check his level. Level 122. His level had increased 8 times after defeating one powerful enemy. Jinwoo couldn't even guess how much stronger he would become after fighting the rest of them. His heart beat quickly, both with fear and excitement. I will get stronger. The power Jinwoo gained from leveling up was what he used to protect the people and things he cared about most.